for $108 in 3 really, really easy steps. It's Ainsley Micallef here, and I'm going to share with you today some really simple things that you need to do just to get cracking on your retreat business. Now, you might be interested in setting one up for wellness and health and fitness, or you want to set a retreat up where you can go and sit in Bali and meditate, or you might just want to do personal development. It's up to you. You can do anything you like. You can do surfing retreats. You can do skiing retreats. You can do all sorts of retreats. And the industry is booming at the moment because everyone wants to do this stuff. They want to go away on a really cool holiday, and instead of sitting around on their asses reading books, they want to learn something as well. So it's a bit of a double whammy because you come back a completely different person. So it's great now to strike while the iron is hot so that you can start living that life that you want instead of going day to day back and forth to your office, which I'm sure is driving you freaking crazy. Like it used to drive me crazy. I was a very angry person when I was commuting to and from work. I was happier at work, believe it or not. So today I'm going to go through the steps. Now, if you want to work with me, obviously there's a lot more depth to this. Learning the systems that we're going to go through. There are videos that you can look up. Just get on YouTube and have a look at those. But if you want to work with me at the end, then there's a link and some details about how to do that. So let's get cracking. First of all, a little bit about moi. My background, I was in hospitality for a really long time. I lived all around Australia. I've always been a bit of a nomad. It was kind of set in stone growing up, and my whole family are all a bunch of travellers. So I was a tour guide, and I got to tour guide. I used to do the 18 to 35s tours around Queensland and the Northern Territory, and then I also did the safaris as well. And so I went through WA, and I've pretty much been all around Australia as a tour guide and lived in lots of different places as well. I went to New Zealand to tour guide, and I also tour guided in Africa. So I've got a massive travelling background, and I just love it. And that's why I'm really loving doing this again, because I get to go out and experience that stuff, and I can send other people out like you to go and do the same fun shit as well. And this was me. After I finished tour guiding, I decided to move to Sydney and got into corporate because I thought that that's what you were supposed to do. I was 30 or late 20s and single, and I thought the order of things was to get all serious and meet someone and get a good job and all that bullshit. And it just wasn't for me. I spent 4 years looking like that. And unfortunately, it sucked the life out of me. And like I said, with the commuting, I was living in Sydney, so the traffic was horrendous. And my weekends were my release. Unfortunately, those weekends I just went crazy and I'd spend all my money and take drugs and all sorts of stuff. And that's another Ricky Lake show. But I felt that I was like a trapped bird. I wasn't happy. And I was doing something that I wasn't really being true to myself. And I couldn't understand how my manager would say that she loved HR. I just couldn't understand it. And I also, around that, in my travelling, also did admin jobs as well in corporate. And you know what? Ain't for me. I'm the shittiest employee on the planet. I do what I want and I bend the rules, and I always get in trouble, funnily enough. Who would have thunk it? Then I quit that job and decided, I did my neuro-linguistic programming course and decided to become a date coach for men. And in this time, I actually went back to tour guiding. So I was doing this WA safaris while I was setting this business up. And it was really fun because my time off, I'd go home and I'd see clients and take them out to bars, and I'd show them how to talk to women, and I'd help them with their confidence, and then I'd go back out. And so I developed a business where I was Skyping my clients while I was away, and then I'd come back and we'd go out and we'd have one-on-one face-to-face. And it was so much fun. But eventually it sort of, after a while, it got a little bit too much, and like I quit my touring job and came back and decided to do it full time. But after a while, because I was dealing with, a lot of different kinds of people, and as a single woman, it kind of got a little bit weird. So I decided to evolve. And so the next thing I did, I kept that business name, but I got into doing workshops in personal development. So I'd done my NLP and I was sharing the NLP aspect as well as everything else I was learning about myself, all the experiences I had, and developed a really great coaching and training business. So I went around to different businesses and did corporate training, but it was also the personal and professional development side of things. And then I also did weekend workshops. And I also used to run programs to help jobless people start businesses with little to no money. And so it's quite fitting that I'm doing this for you today. Obviously in a different capacity, but essentially it's same. You don't have to spend a fortune to be able to start a business. Then I met a boy and his name was Brad. And when we met, I was doing quite well, but we decided to move to Perth. So I put the business on hold. I had full intentions of going back to doing something. I didn't know what, whether it was the same thing again. But we went to Perth for a year and I did corporate training. And that's me falling into a shark's mouth. Because that's what is over there. Lots and lots of sharks. And Ainsley in her AC/DC t-shirt. But I did corporate training, so I taught the diplomas of business and management. So that's where I got some really awesome key skills for teaching business and the fundamentals that a lot of people miss when they learn how to start a business. And so I'd already kind of done the other stuff like the internet marketing, and so it was good to round it out with the corporate training. And then we decided to move to the Gold Coast, and I was feeling inspired again. I was ready to do something else in a business, and it started with the Single Chicks Toolkit. So it actually started with dating, and I couldn't decide, so I decided to do everything. And then, as I was doing everything for the single chicks, then I decided to do everything for the single blokes as well. And I screwed myself over. I was working 3 times as hard. At one point I was running 3 programs at the same time. So I was trying to pump out 3 videos a week to 3 different groups and selling into those groups and those programs. And I just burnt myself out. I was sick. I was tired. I was frustrated. And there was just no balance in what I was doing. I was selling, but then I'd have so much to do that it'd take away from my selling, and I just shot myself in the foot by wanting to do it all, because I do have an obsession with bright, shiny objects, and I couldn't just decide, and I couldn't park my ego and then say, no, I'm just going to do one thing. And so while it was great, I decided then to cut things down a bit, get a bit more realistic about my capabilities, and just shave it right down to what exactly I wanted to do. And so now this is stuck. That's excellent. Thank you. There we go. Oh. Okay, and so this is what I decided to clear up and put together. My love of travel, and obviously my love of business as well, and helping people do the same thing, because hey, what better way to live than getting paid to go and sit in a house like that thing in the middle there and deliver on a great program and teach people some really cool skills. You can do it anywhere. Like I said, it doesn't have to be confined to Thailand and Bali, and I highly recommend you don't, because everybody's going to Thailand and Bali, so it's getting a bit of a yawn. If you wanted to attack the US market, you could actually market to Americans and go over there and do it. If you wanted to do it in the UK, you could go to London and do it. If you want to go to Ibiza, you can do that. So the sky's the limit. You don't have to limit yourself to tropical locations because everybody else is doing it. And like I said, I wouldn't recommend it. You can do it in Australia. And so yeah, like I said, the sky's the limit in what you want to do. So essentially what I do is help you start a business, all right? So you've got a clear idea in your head of what you want to do, and then we turn it into a retreat. And then you can travel all around the world earning heaps and heaps of money doing it. Now, you can base yourself wherever you are right now and just go on little trips, or you can just pack up and leave. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to show you how to do the higher end retreats as opposed to the cheaper ones, because the cheaper ones are a lot more competitive. And so we're going to help you try and find a higher quality client than the cheaper ones. So first thing we're going to look at is the myths of business, all right? Because we do have a lot of little mental blocks that kind of get in our way that stop us from moving forward, because we tell ourselves all these little stories about that. So, first one, you only get into business for the money. If you only get into business for the money, then you're not going to last very long, because people will feel it. When you're on the phone to them, speaking to them and trying to get them interested in your retreat, and then you're trying to push them to give you the money, then they're going to feel it and you're going to scare them off. So if that's your only reason for getting into business, then don't bother. Be an employee and just turn up and put your feet up, whatever. But just don't bother getting into business if you think money is the main reason that you should be doing it. It takes years to get established. In this video, I'm actually going to show you how to set it up really quickly, which is very cool. You need a website. No, you don't. Websites are expensive. They take a lot of time to set up. I don't know if you've noticed, I still don't have one. I should get one, but I'm not particularly bothered about it because it's not my main priority. A website's kind of a nice to have. As long as I'm giving out great, solid information that helps you guys, and then if you want more information about me, just Google me and have a look on my page and have a look at the Single Chicks and Single Blokes Toolkits pages as well. I'm a real person, believe it or not. Logo, if you really want to get a logo, you can from Fiverr.com for like $5-10. Again, with logo, with the business name, a lot of people are actually branding themselves these days as opposed to having some fancy schmancy business name. So up to you, but yeah, you can grab a logo if you want. I actually create my own on this photo software called Pixlr. It's Pixlr, and you can just create different pictures, logos, whatever you want to do onto that and do different effects, and the kind of like Instagram really. You need a program to get started. No, you don't. A program is something that you would want to develop when you sold to the people that you want in your program, so that you make sure that they're getting great advice and they're getting what they want, as opposed to having a colour by numbers program that doesn't suit the people that are on your course. So I highly recommend you just wait and talk to the people and find out what they want and give it to them. Obviously you're going to have an outline. You want to have some clarity, because obviously if you're marketing it and selling it, then you're going to need to know what you're doing. But in terms of like the breakdown, then yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You need thousands of dollars to start a business. No, you don't. Like I said, $108 to set up a business. You don't need all the fancy PR stuff. You don't need to waste thousands of dollars on your marketing and selling at all. You have to have a qualification. This is one of the biggest myths out, I think, because having a qualification, while looks wonderful, actually no one really gives a shit if you've got a qualification. They just want to know if you can help them. And if you've gone through something and you've come out the other side, and then you are able to help other people who are going through that thing come out the other side. It's kind of like when you're the first one over on a log in water, and you put your hand out and you help other people across that log. You need to have accommodation booked for your retreat. I highly recommend you don't, because if you end up with, say you book a 7-person villa or 7-room villa and you only get 3 people, that's going to come out of your pocket. So you don't want to screw yourself over. Obviously if you're picking holiday areas with more accommodation available, then you're sweet. And if you do it outside of school holidays, then sweet. But really, I would wait until I've got all of the people that I want, and then book it. And they don't have to, it's not a big necessity. They don't have to know. As long as you're obviously getting something half decent, or if you're just getting something basic, just make sure that you say it's basic. No, you don't want to set up expectations that you're getting this amazing mansion when if you only get 2 people, you might actually only be able to or need to rent a unit or like a self-contained unit or something. So wait until you get as many people as you can. And then obviously you want to put a deposit down, check it's refundable, and then you can commit to that. Otherwise, if you get this big fancy place that's 4 or 5 grand a week and you only get a couple of people, then you're going to be struggling. So I'd wait for that. So the first step is you really need to get some clarity, okay? So obviously in my program, we actually spend full days on each part of this clarity. But for the sake of this video and to help you guys out to get started, then this is a really important step that you need to make. So first of all, what monthly income do you want? 20,000, 30,000, 50,000? Because that's going to be based on how many people you have to the retreat, and also how much you want to earn a month and how much you're going to charge. The second one is, who are your people? Because people think, and I thought this too, when I started my first business, I thought that if I just did a website, everyone would want my help. And I had a bazillion different things that I could help them with. And no one came because the message gets diluted. And the other thing as well, if you're spending 7 days, 24/7 with these people, you're going to have to like them. Otherwise, if you end up with these ranty, whingy people, then you're stuck with them. And I know as a tour guide, I didn't get to choose my people. I got stuck with some people that I wanted to kick off and throw the lions, but I didn't because I'm not that person. But I did think it. I thought it. So this is the thing. You've got to make sure that you are going to have people that are really into what you're doing and they really want to learn and they're really open to what you have to share. So profile them. Give that person a name. What are they telling themselves? What are they feeling right now about themselves, and what help do you think that you can give them? What situation they're going through, and the fear and the frustration. So really drill right down to the emotions that they're feeling, but also the type of person. So are they outgoing and loud and fun and love a party, or are they introverted and they're just shy and they prefer to kind of just chill out and relax and do yoga and meditate? Who are they? What kind of people do you want on your retreats? The next thing, how are you helping them? So this is what you're doing, is offering a solution to their problem. And so you've really got to think about that. How am I going to help them get through that process? What is the process I'm going to use? And what are you helping them with? So what exactly is it? Is it helping them with their confidence, or helping them with their communication skills, or helping them with their weight or post-pregnancy body? Whatever. Just get really specific about what it is that you're helping them with. And how much do you think you're worth? For me, I've spent 70 grand on my education. And so I think I'm worth a fair bit, because I've spent a lot of time. It's taken me, I guess, 8 years if you want to measure it in terms of learning about personal development and study and all of the things that I've learned from my background. And so I think that you've really got to do that. There's too many people thinking, oh, I'll just charge $97 for this, or, you know, $150 for that. But that's just saying to the person who's paying you, I don't think I value myself that much. Whereas if you take it a little bit higher, then you're going to get that kind of person who values it, and they will pay it. And it doesn't matter whether you're, and trust me, I know this, it doesn't matter whether you're selling a $1,000 product or a $6,000 product or $10,000 or $20,000 product, right? Because the process that you go through to sell that is exactly the same. It's just about targeting the right people who are willing, who need that thing and will give you the money to help them get out of it. Step 2. All right, so this is the technical stuff. Now, you're going to have to kind of get onto these sites. There are a lot of tutorials, so you shouldn't have any issues. I must be completely honest with you. The technical setup side is probably one of the most frustrating things. You want to throw your laptop out the window. But just go easy on yourself, okay? Because you are learning. Any kind of learning is frustrating. I've wanted to throw my laptop out the window many times. But that's what you have to do. And once you get the hang of it, it's like driving a car. Once you get the hang of it, then it just becomes easy and you just get in there and you do it, and it might take you an hour or two to do something instead of however long it'll take you to do this. But like I said, you can get videos on how to set these things up. So the first thing you want to do before anything else is set up a business name, even if it's just your name. You do that through the ASIC website. It's $30 for a year, and it's $70 for 3 years. So you just need to get on there, register that, and then you're legal. Then the next thing is setting up a domain name. You're actually going to use, this is the www.name. You will be using this for some of the software that you're going to need to set up these pages. All right. I got mine from Crazy Domains for $12. Bargain. Then the next thing you need to do is set up a marketing funnel. So what you've done to get this video is you've gone through a marketing funnel. So the first thing is I do an ad to target the kinds of people that I want to work with, to get them interested in the video, they're ready, they want to start a business, their retreat business. And so I created the Facebook ad. Then you click on the link and then you sign up to get the video. And that's what I'm doing. I'm creating my list to get the video. And then I can send you out more information to help you out in setting up your own business. Then you went through to another page that's giving you, well, it wasn't actually selling you anything. It's offering a free consult. And so then that's the next part. And then there's the consulting or the program or the product or the course or whatever that you will offer your potential client as well. So in order to do this, you can sign up to Lead Pages. It's $37 a month. And it's actually one of the easiest ones because the templates are already set up. You just pick one and then you got to integrate it, which I'll talk about in a second. But then you've got this really nice marketing funnel. All right, so the next thing you need to do, and you have to integrate this with the Lead Pages, get their details so that you can communicate them with them. So as I said before, I got your email address, which means that I can communicate with you. And I use Aweber, which is an autoresponder. So I've got a heap of different stories and blogs and things that you can read now from my emails, because the autoresponder just sends them out in a timely fashion. That's my dog snoring, if you can hear him in the background. And so that's $19 a month. Lead Pages gives tutorials on how to integrate your Aweber with the Lead Pages funnel, with your marketing funnel. Then setting up a Facebook page, free of charge, no issues there. So I'm sure you know what to do. Bottom left-hand corner, set up a page. Create Facebook ad. So you only need to spend $10 a day to create a Facebook ad. And so do that. Get on there. You can do $5 a day if you want to. So it doesn't need to be expensive. And then what happens is that once you start getting people signing up for your consult, then you can, and if you see some really good results of people signing up to your consult, then you can bump it up. So you can put $20 or $50 or however much you can afford to put on there. And so that's really cool. And then you'll be able to, when you have the consults, tell the people about your program and sell them into it, which means then you can put on heaps more money. And then, as I said, so that final page, or that getting you interested and offering the consult, then there's an application form, because you shouldn't just take anyone. And I've had to reject 3 people this week because they just weren't a good fit for my program. And so when you're kind of starting a business, it can be really hard to do because you want their money. You do. You get a little bit kind of money focused and money hungry. But when you actually start rejecting people, it kind of gets rid of that fear and that need of holding on to money and being really needy when you're on the phone. When you can actually say to someone, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit, then it's amazing how much in yourself you feel like you've got integrity by doing that person a favour by letting them go, and also doing yourself a favour as well. And so to sign up, get them to sign up for that is you use an application form from Wufoo, absolutely free. So they fill out the form, you can have a look and say, yay, oh yep, they look like a good candidate, I'll have a chat to them and see if I can help them. And then you've got that there and you can keep in touch with them as well. And cha-ching! All comes to a cost of $108. Can take you, I've been generous here, 2 to 3 days. Look, when I first did it, I set up some pretty complicated programs and stuff myself up, so it shouldn't take you that long. It could actually take you half a day if you just stick with it, don't lose your shit like I did, and get it set up. Or you can just pay someone else to do it. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is set out your plan, alright, just to give you some clarity on what the hell you're doing and how you're going to do it. So write this down. You want to write down your 3-year goal, and then you want to work backwards to your 12-month goal, and then down to your 90-day goal, and then today's goal. So write those down. Today's goal means that you actually have to implement something today. I would say getting those systems set up, get that page sorted, a great photo for timeline. If you want, you can use Pixlr to create your timeline photos, and you can jazz it all up and make it really nice. You don't want it too busy, but just a nice attractive one, and then a nice picture of yourself as well. And just remember that when you set up that page and the name you give it, you are stuck with that until you can ask Facebook for permission to change it, but otherwise you are stuck with that until you set up another page. So have a really good think about that. As a recommendation, I'd say just use your name as your brand. And then if you want to put a little name on it again, like eventually, then you can do that on your timeline or whatever. So if you want to have a 40-minute business planning session to go over your goals, then I'm more than happy to. So there's a link down the bottom of the page, and all we're going to do, we're just going to go through your stuff, find out exactly what you're doing, who you want to help, how much you want to earn, doing the maths. So we'll actually do a bit of a return on investment formula to make sure that you're going to start making some really good money. I'm not going to pitch you. I'm not going to go and get all pushy and force you into something. So it's just a chat, and then at the end we can decide whether we're a good fit or not. Now, I don't take on just anyone. I could reject you if you're unsure about what you're wanting to do, if you're a bit fluffy and you don't have any kind of solid idea about what you want to do, because I find that when I get those people, they're all over the shop, and it's a waste of my time when you're not ready. So I really want people that really know that this is what they want to do and they're ready to go for it. So the link's below the link's below the video. So there you go. How to start your retreat business for $108 in 3 steps. Really simple. And get on there. Friend me up on Facebook, Ainsley Micallef. I'm open to friending with everyone so that you can see that I'm a real person. Yeah, I am. Lucky you. And yeah, let's get into this. And I really hope that everything goes really awesome for you in setting this stuff up, and I want to hear all your stories. So have a cracker of a day.